Afternoon, it's Bob from Trade Genius. It's the 27th of July. And like I've been saying all week, and I said again yesterday, Facebook's going to top the market. And they did. So they reported last night they had a huge pop in their stock. Not surprising, it was a very, very good earnings report on their part. But as I suspected, their growth is coming out of other places. So you had Twitter got hammered and Google fell. And so you look in the morning, you're like, oh geez, man, they're ramping it again. And then UPS reported, and people started connecting the dots. UPS is an economic bellwether. And people started getting a little nervous, and then all of a sudden Amazon, which was flying this morning, started to sell off. And then the dam broke, and we had the NASDAQ fall 160 points. And it fell all the way back, erased almost the whole week out, before they drifted it back up again, and then now it's below 5,900. So we have what's called a fake out breakout. So they had a double top that pushed through, and now it fell back below that double top. And my view is that, I think the market, and who knows what it'll do tomorrow. It might sell up pretty hard tomorrow. Going into the weekend, people are sitting there going, okay, Amazon missed their earnings report, and Google's wasn't anything to write home about, and Twitter, and then Apple fell, and Nvidia fell, and I think people are probably going to say, you know what, we had a great run, might as well take some chips off the table, and then all hell's going to break loose, because they had this thing so wired up with some really, really fast trigger money that this thing could flush faster than you can blink. And if you don't think it can happen, we lost 160 points literally in 20 minutes on the NASDAQ. And that's, 3%, like nothing. And those days are coming again. Many of you can remember 07 and 08. That's how fast things move. We had the market moving 800 points a day. And because when liquidity dries up, there's no buyers. And there's never been buyers except the central banks, and they're full. So just bear that in mind. Apple reports on Monday. It's not supposed to be a big quarter for them. So I don't know, if they're going to kind of hold the market kind of and see what they do. But, hey, Apple's next phone is going to be $1,200. I don't know about you, but I'm not shelling out $1,200 for a darn phone. And I think I won't be the only one. So just keep an eye on everything here. And then, you have political environment, it's a mess. You got Lindsey Graham out there barking about ending Trump's presidency. Freaking Republican. That's the thing about Republicans. I don't care if you're a Democrat, you should be laughing. If you're a Republican, you just shake your head. We just don't know how to be in charge when Republicans are in charge. And maybe they like not being in charge. I don't know. But that's just not the way you go about doing things. And he's in a state where he's probably not going to get reelected. So you got that turmoil spinning. You got North Korea spinning. You got this whole thing with the Democrats where you shouldn't be happy is that this whole thing with these Owan brothers, I mean, who knows what kind of blackmail, what kind of crimes have been committed here to keep everybody so quiet for so long. And this thing breaks open, I think we may be looking at something that is unseen in the political history of the United States. This could be the black swan. These guys were making and blackmailing their own mother. So I can just imagine what they were doing to our political people, and they had access to the whole Senate Foreign Affairs Committee. So who knows what they sold to whom? So things are going to get really interesting really fast. Fun times are definitely over. As I've been telling people, you've made a lot of money. If you're in, you need to start rethinking your life, because I think rocky roads are coming. Let me just blast through the charts. And like I said, we got Apple. That's a nasty candle right here. And I think it's going to have a hard time pushing back up. We got our 145, 140 put spread for August. I feel even more comfortable now that we'll break below 145. Google has not acted well since their earnings report. Their growth is drying up too. I mean, the people only have so much money. Now these guys are going to start cannibalizing each other, and people are broke. And these guys are nothing more than advertising agencies, and platforms or newspapers. They're just a new form of the newspaper. And when the consumer's not buying, people aren't going to be taking out ads. And I think that's going to start dawning on people really, really quickly. Same with Microsoft, end user as a customer. Amazon. I'm just shocked that Amazon is not down 20 or 30%. Their earnings report was absolutely awful. And I don't know why they constantly get a hall pass on their earnings, but they're a half a trillion dollar company now too. So you got growth issues there. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with them. I mean, they can't grow to 100% $1 trillion. I mean, they're already 3% of the GDP of the United States. They don't own the market. There are other retailers. There are other really good retailers that are going to start fighting back. And in their cloud business, they're getting a lot of pushback from Google and Microsoft. And Walmart's not going to sit on their butts, and Aldi's not going to sit on their butt, and Costco's not going to sit on their butt. And so you're going to get a lot of people pushing back, and if price starts becoming the main point and everybody starts competing on price, what does Amazon have? They're really just a really, 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 really big consignment store, okay, with some really cool technology. But people have to buy the stuff. Like I said, all the stuff is just wickedly over expensive once people come out of this, this subconscious, whatever it is, their delusion they're under. Facebook done a great job. Facebook, I think, is the star of this Internet 2.0. I mean, they have 2 billion eyeballs, but think about it. They're a half a $1 trillion company. Okay, the whole media buy, digital and old school, is worldwide is only $600 billion. They're as big as their entire market. I mean, you can't grow faster than that. So, so you're going to assign somebody a 40 multiple in an industry that they're already bigger than. I mean, people just need to take a step back and take a deep breath. These companies all will be cut in half, minimum. Once the air starts coming out of this, the tires of this push because of the VIX. You got SPY. SPY will just follow the ETFs down. This has been a funding source from the yen, whatever. This is the benchmark that everybody wants to look at all the time. Here's NVIDIA. I mean, they pushed this thing up 10% over VWAP. It's a chip maker. They sell chips to the auto industry, okay? One of their growth areas. Well, they're not selling cars like they used to. Netflix. Here's a company that loses money the more they do. Again, this is going to be one of those stocks, unless they can start producing cash flow, they're not going to be able to live on PE alone. And usually when this stuff washes out, people want their cash back, and they're going to demand these guys start making money. So I doubt Netflix is going to stay up in this rare air. You just can't giving subscriptions away to people. Here's the Qs. We have the 137 for September. Up until earlier this week, I thought, oh, I guess that was a trade that's not going to work out. Now I feel extremely comfortable again. And like I said, I have almost 7 weeks to make that trade work in the worst time of the year for the technology. And I'll start selling puts again when I can get a little bit of a premium on them. I didn't want to do any credit spreads because I didn't know when this fever was going to break. If you would have asked me, I thought it would have broke right before earnings, but it looks like it's breaking now. And I see no reason why this could not be, by the end of next Friday, back under 140. And then I'll start selling debit put spreads under my 137 weekly again, so I can keep bringing that cost basis down. But I think I'm going to get paid on the Qs too. Gold held up pretty good today. It was kind of sketchy there, back and forth. I didn't know if the whole market was going to go, but gold's holding up. I don't have any gold position per se at the moment, but it looks good. IWM, that's a nice bear flag. You get that thing under the VWAP here at 141.50 area, and then we're going to be moving down pretty hard, and may jump into TWM again. I don't know why the banks are anywhere close to here. Like I said, all their markets are drying up. I just read today charge-offs are increasing again on credit cards. Autos are awful. Housing's down, and there's no spread. And then the Fed just told us they're not going to raise interest rates. So I suspect that we've seen the highs in the banks too. Here's Twitter. They just took it on the chin. Facebook's eating their lunch. I make my living partly from Twitter. It's a really good platform. I just don't know if they're going to be able to generate enough eyeballs here to get the valuations that they think they deserve. XLE, I'm in XLE. The 64s for August. I'm staying with it. I think oil's topping this week too. Here's XLK, XLY. This is, you can see it suffered with Amazon. Okay, so there's no discretionary income for consumers, and another plank in the pay for the corporate tax break fell apart today with this border enforcement thing, and they still haven't unscrewed up the healthcare thing. I just have no idea what these guys are doing. I mean, they literally are, I would call them idiots, but I think they're just simply evil. And so you can fix this thing, and people should pay what they're supposed to pay for healthcare. But, their hands are so deep, in the pockets of these lobbyists that I just don't think they can get their hands out of there. They'll bring the whole thing down on themselves before they do this. And it's a shame. And so, sorry, ignore my phone. And then, let's see here. We got MOS. I'm back in MOS again. I think it's going to move with the Ags, and we're up a little bit on this trade. But like I said, I think MOS is really going to go here soon. Okay, so we're in wheat and precious metals. Had a great day yesterday. Looks like the little back and filling. I sold some calls against my position, just so I can keep bringing my basis down. But this is the whale position for me on the long side, and I'm pretty confident that with interest rates falling and silver rising, that wheat and precious metals are going to do quite well. Okay, here's GDX. Here's SLV. Silver looking fine. Real estate, like I said, staying away from that. You got CCJ. We bought this today, and it jumped as we were buying it. So I apologize. I didn't expect it to be moving as I was typing it in, but I think it's a good trade. And if you didn't catch it today, it may retrace a little bit and get some, but I think the uranium stocks are starting to move. GDXJ, we're in GDXJ. It came back a little bit today. I think the market was just selling off things, but we're still profitable in the trade, and just look for this thing to break out when gold and the metal miners keep working higher. Yes. Okay. Finally, biotech's breaking down too. So these are all high beta stuff. So I think as they start selling the high beta off, I think biotech's going to get crushed. Here's Nugget, AG. It's interesting. May look to put a buy signal out on AG here pretty soon. Okay, the VIX. Look at, they still tried to sell the VIX off today. VXX, amazing. This thing's going to go one day, and they're not going to be able to control it. Okay, the banks, we talked about that. UVXY, we just talked about vol. XIV, it's just amazing. It's literally amazing, but I'm staying away from this. So volatility guy that I follow was just talking about when this thing can go bidless, and I just can't even imagine losing 90% of my money because they can't find buyers, and then the fund has to come in and shut it down. And it doesn't take much for the VIX pops 60%, 80% in a day. XIV is done for. They close it up. But if it drops 40, 50%, there'll be nobody bidding on this stuff I mean, if it goes up 40 or 50%, there'll be nobody bidding on XIV. It'll be lights out, and I don't think people can absorb the hit. You will have stops that'll be ignored. This thing will drop 20, 30, $40. And I said, it's not worth it to me. If you're going to play it by buying UVXY puts. At least that's all you're going to lose is your options. There's the dollar. Kind of started to drift up a little bit today. Don't know where it's going to go though. UCO, we have UCO puts. Like I said, I think oil top today too. DBA, nice recovery on DBA. Sugar, and I'll check on coffee here in a second, but sugar shot right back up. We got stopped out of it. I didn't chase it back in. I flipped over to coffee. So, but they're all running together. Coffee, cocoa, sugar likes to travel together. XME, in the beginning of the day, I thought this was really interesting. All the commodities were moving up, and XME was falling down. And I'll check on the coppers here in a second, but somebody said that they think copper top too. It's just all an economic sensitivity thing. So when I talk about this reflation trade, I just don't know what the heck people are talking about. I think all this stuff's going to roll over. I think the only thing that'll reflate would be precious metals, because it's really a guard against currency debasement. These commodities that have the base metals don't have nearly the same cachet, and so I think I'm comfortable staying with my silver and gold miners and just trade in and out of these things. But I just can't see why copper would go up if economic activity is going to fall. Okay, so I think there might be a play here coming again with natural gas. And I wasn't paying attention to the report, but apparently it must have been pretty bullish because we got a bit of a pop here. Don't like the ominous of the closing print here at 666, but I think there might be a move higher here coming on in UNG. We got chased out of SQQQ, and then it popped, and I just kind of stayed away because I wasn't sure if they were going to ramp this thing up. They ramped it halfway, so I may want to see what happens here tomorrow going into next week, and maybe taking a shot at this if I truly believe they're not going to be able to fix the sell-off they had today. Here's oil. I just bought some oil puts for August 2, and lottery tickets, 450s, paid 10 cents for them. This is for USO, so show that to you in a second. There's dust, SCO, TWM. So here the yen started pushing up, down again. Well, FXY pushed up. So this is the yen pair should have been pushed down. They tried to hold it today, but I just think this FXY is going to fly, and I think that's a funding mechanism for the market when it shorts it, and so I think it's going to put more pressure on the market. JJG starting to come back again. URA, when those dots go from red to blue again, I'll jump back in there. And there's copper. See, XME is reacting a lot more negatively than copper itself, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens here. Here's coffee, up almost 1% today, and like I said, coffee and sugar and cocoa kind of travel together. Here's corn, had a good day. These end of the day print things are always kind of weird because the ETFs are open when the contracts are closed. So you know, corn and wheat and soybeans, I'm expecting those to continue to get bid. So IJ, strip. Let's see here, there's sugar. See, nice little pop again in sugar. We got kicked out around 30, made a little bit of profit, and this is one that's just too whippy. It's kind of hard, but I think it's looking to try to make a longer term move higher. Here's wheat. We're back in at the price we bought it at. Here's soybeans, a little up. And it's kind of annoying. We got stopped out of this one the other day too, and it popped. But I'm going to keep an eye on it because I think once technology rolls over, it usually rolls over pretty hard. And the VIX got over 10, desperately trying to sell it back down. And then you had the 10-year push back up a little bit, but we will see this at 20, and you'll be able to refinance your house. And that's it. So we're really pleased with today, other than getting stopped out right away from SQQQ and then have it reverse like that. I'm quite pleased. I want to see reality come into the market. I'm not happy if people are losing money because it goes down, but this needs to come down sooner than later because you don't want the market to crash on you. And I think we're going to get a pretty healthy sell-off as it is. But if they keep pushing this thing up, then the dislocation gets to be too much, and then it really screws things up. So anyway, it's Bob from Trade Genius. I'll catch you guys over the weekend. But I was pretty stoked with today's action, and the day trading money machine just had a fantastic day catching some of these moves. So if you're interested, go to theacademy.com, go to the tips and tricks area, buy the software, put it on your machine, and start trading and making some money every day. Thanks. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.